Now we're on to Aquarius rising. So in Vedic, this is Kumbha. Aquarius is Kumbha Lagna, ascendant. And the ruler, the natural planetary ruler, is a dual rulers, actually. We have Rahu, which is the north node of the moon, and Shani, which is Saturn. So let's talk a little bit about the qualities of Rahu, because it has a lot to do with how Aquarius rising people even look or project their image into the world. Rahu is all about desire. It's about feeling dissatisfied and having an ambition and a restlessness and nervous quality to their energy. Rahu has a maverick energy. It wants to go off in its own direction. And, it also rules foreigners, somebody who is outside the landscape of what is the norm within where people live. And this has a very positive quality. It brings people to a place where they can realize the differences between things, but it can also be a disruptive energy as well. Boundaries and crossing boundaries. So Aquarius rising or Kumbha rising has this sense of having to do with global matters, crossing all boundaries, the World Wide Web, technology, science, a tremendous understanding of everything, because Rahu wants to understand, it has that ambition, and it's coupled with Shani or Saturn, which is all about, as we've explained previously, it's about limitation, focus, research. It's about having a spiritual sense of discipline. So quirky, I suppose, would be a really good word to describe Kumbha rising. Rulers for Aquarius are Rahu and Shani, and they have a relationship to the 11th house in the chart. The 11th house is all about groups. It's all about networks. It's all about teaching and spreading of knowledge. So this is very much about how the Aquarian goes about things, and they do it in their own quirky or unusual way. From the viewpoint of how Aquarius rising looks, they can look unusual or outstanding or striking in some way. They may not be typically handsome, but they would have that sense of charisma or difference to other people. As an air sign, they would tend to be tall, slim, and have long faces, maybe long fingers, because they're very considered in how they go about doing things, and aquiline noses, because that's a very air sign trait. Over to you, Israel.
Yes, so we're on to Aquarius, air sign, as Nina has quite put it. Air signs also do like to share ideas and network ideas also as well. So there is something about the Aquarius nature that is constantly looking to connect with other people and develop relationships, but more on a larger group. The houses which are very crucial, or the planets which are very, very crucial for Aquarius rising, are Venus and Mercury. Venus becomes the lord of the 4th house and also the 9th house. So the 4th house is a Kendra house, the 9th house is a Trikona house. So these houses become very, very strong. Venus becomes a very, very strong planet. As Mars is the ruler of the 10th house, but Mars is also one of the rulers of the 3rd house, and the 3rd house is Dhisthana house, so it's also about perfecting, and it's something that you constantly need to continue to work on. So Mars can become very crucial for those who are Aquarius rising. The Sun automatically rules the 7th house for people who are Aquarius rising, so this can be a challenging place for Aquarius rising people, depending where their sun is, because the sun automatically becomes the lord of the 7th house, and this is the place where challenges can occur. The 7th house is the place where we confront, although it's the house of relationships, but it's also the place where we confront are also our opponents or enemies. So this can be a challenging place for people who are Aquarius rising too. The moon is a very crucial planet for those people who are Aquarius rising, as the moon automatically rules the 6th house. Now the 6th house is the house of illness, house of disease. It's also the house of work too. But because it's the moon, and the moon is to do with the mind, and it's to do with also our emotions too, if people get emotionally stressed in this particular area, it can come out as a particular illness or disease in the body. So for those people who are Aquarius rising, they need to be very careful and cautious of how they express their moons, as it can erupt in 6th house matters.
So it's not a good planet for them. Mention that. That's important. It's not the best planet for.
So it's.
Yeah.
So for people who are Aquarius rising, the moon can be a very challenging planet. It's not the best planet for them. And we also have to remember that Aquarius by nature is a zodiac sign that is it's linked with being detachment. So the moon anyway as a whole is not necessarily a planet that really mixes with the Aquarius archetype. So it can be extremely challenging.
I just want to add too,
Yes.
in relation to what you've just said about that detachment,
Yeah.
that why the sun or the 7th house would be difficult for
Yes.
Aquarius is that they need their space. They need to withdraw from worldly matters in order to regain their equilibrium. So in
Yes.
the house of partnership, that could be very difficult for them.
Indeed.